It is with great sadness that we here at North Metro TV tell you that we lost a friend. Dean Homebow Sr. passed away February 9th at the age of 61. He was a longtime volunteer as a camera operator on Truck Productions. His smile, positive attitude, and dedication were just a few of the reasons he was a beloved member of the crew. In 2001, we created an award in his name to honor him and his service after he took the shot of the year from a Big Spring Lake Park quarterback, Tony Hull. The collision, one of epic proportions, and Dean hung in there the entire way. Just one example of his dedication. The broken eyepiece was mounted as an award and given to Dean. For the last 13 years, that award has been given to the best and most dedicated camera operator on our sports crew and will continue on in his honor and memory. Our friend, Dean Homebow Sr., you will be missed. Good evening. This is Sports Den. I'm J.W. Cox alongside Mary Peters. Another winter edition of the preeminent highlight show for the Northwest Suburban Conference out of North Metro TV Channel 15 here tonight. And Mary, it's that time of year where we start to crown some champions in section tournaments and start to look ahead to state tournament play. Nothing more exciting than playoff time.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun games.
A lot of fun, and certainly throughout the winter season, few games and few matchups have given us as much fun and entertainment as the rivalry between the Blaine and Centennial girls hockey teams. We were treated to two one-goal games throughout the regular season, and then in the postseason, it just continued as both teams in Section 5-2A were the 1 and 2 seeds, and they made their way to the finals. You see Paige Beebe, you see Gabby Hughes. They helped lead the way. But in the playoffs, it was the goalkeepers and a couple of auxiliary scorers that helped. There's Annie Juergens for the Cougars making an early stop. We're just inside the first minute, and we went end to end on the ice. Michaela Tilton doing the same as Juergens. The scorer of note in the playoffs has been Alyssa Woolens for the Bengals. She does it again. Inside of 4 minutes to go, great stick work going down to a knee, beats Juergens. It's 1-0 Bengals in the first period. It would stay that way going into the second for Woolens. That's her third goal of the postseason. She had a game winner in the quarterfinals. Remember that little tidbit. Into the second we go on the power play. Shot from the near side circle. Top shelf for Sarah Ganley. Ganley, a sophomore, not quite as much scoring as, say, Beebe or some of the top scorers throughout the regular season, but perhaps her biggest goal of her career thus far. Makes it 2-0. At this point, you're thinking all Bengals. Cougars, the 1 seed, on the ropes, 11-game winning streak, looking in jeopardy. They need some help. They turn to their senior. It's all about that Jessica Baseflug to put it into the back of the net to make it 2-1 in favor of the Bengals still with 6:40 to go in the second. Stays there till early in the third off a face-off. Gabby Hughes, the leading scorer throughout the regular season, beats Tilton and ties this one up. Again, it was 2 one-goal games in the regular season in this rivalry between Blaine and Centennial, so why not be tight again? We're down inside of a minute and a half, and who else but another steal and another goal for Alyssa Woolens. And Woolens, with the great work, takes it all the way behind the net, gets the unfortunate bounce if you're a Cougar off a skate in front to beat Juergens. Coach King, knowing with just 22 seconds it would come down to one final power play. They actually, or rather face-off, they actually got a pair of face-offs in the zone, couldn't hold it in. Last couple of seconds, Cougars just can't really get the shot away, and the Blaine Bengals celebrate a Section 5-2A championship and are going back to the state tournament for the first time since 2001.
girls. I never wanted the season to end. It's my senior year. Like, my last game will be with our girls at the XL, and that's like the best thing that could ever happen. So I'm really excited. It feels great to know that I'm participating and going to the state tournament. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to come out here and get there, but the biggest thing is, like, we're going to the XL. Like, we haven't gone there since forever, and it just feels great to just go know that we were, like, all contributing together, you know?
Well, we got pucks to the net. We beat Centennial. There's always been a rivalry of us. And we just got pucks deep, and we stayed on the pressure the whole game.
Our quote throughout the year is one more degree, and we knew at the last game we had to take it one more degree. And when it got tied 2-2, we kind of knew that we just talked to each other and said one more degree, and we knew we wanted it because last year we kind of took second, and we don't want that feeling again, so we didn't want it to happen.
Congratulations to the Blaine Bengals, and this is where they draw in the state tournament. On the 2A side, Blaine will take Lakeville South, the number 4 seed. So the Bengals not only into the tournament, but a seeded member of the tournament. Get the number 5 seed. They take on number 4, Lakeville South, who made a little bit of a run last year. Minnetonka's the number 1 seed overall, Hill Murray the 2, Edina the 3, and then Eastview, Buffalo, and Andover, your unseeded teams at 2A. In Class A, so you get the full story, Thief River Falls comes away as the number 1 seed. Blake the number 2, Red Wing, South St. Paul, Hibbing, Chisholm come away with the other 3 seeds. Then Alexandria, New Ulm, and Hutchinson, your unseeded girls Class A state tournament participants. And just an outstanding tournament field. And again, crowning champions at the sectional level is one thing. Bengals did a lot of hard work, and they feel very good, obviously, about where they've put themselves. But you can tell in some of those quotes, Michaela Tilton, 1 degree more. Well, the next degree is to find a win in the state tournament. And Mary, on the other side of things, we're down to it. Sectional play is going to begin for boys hockey with the state tournament coming up in the future. But we still had a couple of good regular season games out the door.
Yeah, the Spring Lake Park Panthers have had a little bit of a tough run. They're coming off of 4 losses with their last win on January 29th, but Blaine is coming off of 6 wins since their tie on January 24th at Anoka. So taking a look at this game, at 2:49 into the first, Ethan Brodzinski finds the back of the net for the Bengals. And this was just the beginning of their scoring run. Taking a look at the next play, which is a Play of the Week nominee, Jacob Nystrom scores the Panthers' last goal of the game at 16:23. They were held scoreless for the rest of the game. And going into the second period, Blaine was down 2-1. Riley Tufte goes to work, scoring on a power play to put the Bengals up 3-2 at 6:11 in the second. And then Tufte goes to work again. He scores at the 12:35 mark. He finished the night with 2 goals and 1 assist. And for the season, he is at 23 goals and 28 assists. Blaine leads 5-2 going into the third period after a strong scoring in the second. Brodzinski finds the back of the net again on a power play with assists from Luke Noterman and Ridge Gerards at 7:53 into the third period. Blaine wins the game 8-2.
It was awesome. You know, we were off to a little slow start. It was 2-1 going in the second period, but I thought our team played well in the second and third, and we kind of broke through with those goals. So it was a good overall game, I think.
We played good, actually. Bodied up all the time, stick to our system, and just played how we play.
I think it's been going pretty well. You know, like I said, we got a good team, and yeah, we've been playing pretty well so far. So hopefully we can carry that into sections.
Taking a look at the Boys Hockey Northwest Suburban Conference West, Osseo leads at 8-8-1. They're actually tied with Totino Grace.
You see on the other side in the North, Mary, in the final standings, Elk River 16-1, Blaine 14-3-1. Second place finish out of the North, Centennial 11-6-1. 15 wins overall, though, for the Cougars, and a lot of teams that will try to represent the Northwest Suburban Conference when it comes to sectional play, as well as the Champion Week continues, I suppose. The first couple that we gave out already, the 5-2A congratulations to the Blaine Bengal girls. Well, wrestling has its eye on the state tournament already, and we have a champion to crown there. The Centennial Cougars went into their sectional tournament as a number 1 seed. Also in that section, the Spring Lake Park St. Anthony Village Panthers wrestling team trying to do some damage. They would have a tough draw in the first round. The Maple Grove Crimson, who you'll see a lot more from over this broadcast. Early on, Elijah Solomon getting into it a little bit with Desmond Johnson of the Panthers. Just didn't get off to a good start in any type of way. Johnson takes a little exception there to how things went with Solomon. That's at 160. The Panthers, a rough stretch. Eventually the final will be 48-19. Here, Will Sewer for the Crimson at 182, able to come away with the pin in the first. Maple Grove just pretty dominant throughout the early stages of this first round matchup with the Panthers. Panthers came in, good record overall, coming in off a strong season. They would get a victory at 220. Tristan Wiemus, who was good all season long, finds a couple of points there, and he pins down Taylor Tyson to secure one of the victories again. The final was 48-19 for Maple Grove. The Crimson win their first round matchup. They would pull the upset in the second round and beat Mounds View. And that's pertinent information because at the same time this was going on, the Centennial Cougars were making their way through the first 2 rounds of this tournament, unscathed as the 1 seed, and they would get things going against Maple Grove in the championship round. Jack Berglund at 113 after a win already at 106 for the Cougars. Berglund over Michael Worley. A point early, and then Berglund with the upper hand, able to get the pin coming here in the second. Berglund, great all season long, great all day long. It will be his 3rd victory of the day, one of 7 different Cougars that went 3-0 in the sectional round, or in that on that sectional day rather, in wrestling. 3-0 for Berglund. Jake Berglund at 120. He didn't want to let the family down, certainly, as he has Tyler Ringel of Maple Grove on the ropes and gets him eventually with the technical fall. The final tally there was 24-9 to get the tech fall. Took a little longer, but Berglund, another great season for him. And again, he got wins at 120 against both Irondale and Champlain Park, Centennial's first 2 opponents that they dispatched 78-3 and 60-21 in those first 2 rounds. So from Berglund at 120, we pick up again at 160. It's still the Cougars or the Crimson, anybody's bout or anybody's match here in this sectional finals. John Knoll taking on Elijah Solomon. Knoll actually wrestling up. He started today wrestling twice at 152. He's going here at 160, and he gets the big win. Look at the bench reaction for that one. Again, the Cougars looking to cruise. We go all the way to 285. Joe Nelson against Barry Niddip for Maple Grove. Nelson, he was almost pinned, able to slip out of it. That's a Play of the Week nominee for the Cougar big man at 285. He also got 2 wins. The huge takedown there for Nelson. The bench loves it. They're just waiting for the count. They would get it as the Centennial Cougars win the section, and they are the champions with the final score over Maple Grove of 38-20 as they win Section 5.
It was all about being patient for me. It's been a very common theme throughout this year, just slowing it down, taking 1 step at a time, just wearing down on it. That really was everything today's match. 2 years ago, losing to Maple Grove, and then everything to come back and just kick their butt this time. Getting a couple upsets through the middle and getting back to state again.
Going to state as a team means kind of everything. I mean, this is what you build up for the season for. It's all the extra sprints. It's everything you do to get to this point. And after last year's kind of failure, or just the fact that we didn't get there, being able to go this year is just the best feeling in the world.
It's undescribable. Years and years of work and just working with this family, just putting everything together. It's amazing. Wouldn't trade it for anything.
The Centennial Cougars are your 5-3A section champs. You take a look at the bracket. As mentioned, they dispatch Irondale and Champlain Park over their first 2 rounds. 60-21. Neither was really all that close. There were a few big wins in the middle for the likes of Mike Matheson and Tyler Shilson to make sure they could get that victory. Other bracket we were keeping an eye on, the Blaine Bengals didn't make it through that play-in matchup against Andover. Well, Andover didn't make it much further as the juggernaut St. Michael Albertville takes it all the way from start to finish. The number 1 seed runs the table, beats the number 3 seed Anoka in the finals 49-15. So state wrestling is just on the horizon, and the Centennial Cougars will be on the way there. They'll actually draw number 3 Wilmer in the first round of state wrestling. You've got, we had the state dance tournament over the weekend as well, and we've been covering that for you throughout the season. You can catch all of our team's dance coaches and captains on YouTube, and here's how things finished up in the state class 3A dance competition. Jazz Funk Maple Grove took the top spot, Eastview, Wayzata, Edina, Lakeville South, and St. Cloud Tech rounding out the top 6. In the high kick, that's where people are still talking about it just days later. Faribault, Wayzata, Eastview, and Chaska, the top 4. Lakeville South, Eden Prairie, with the controversy around the Faribault squad and their routine. And who knows how long it'll be before that dies down. I don't think going into the weekend we thought on Wednesday, rather on Tuesday, we'd still have this type of dance controversy. 3 of our teams in that 3A dance competition at state, but none finished in that top 6. But still, great seasons for our dance squads. And again, you can catch the inside look on all of our dance teams on YouTube, which our coaches and captains feature. We'll have a couple of those, 3 in fact, coming up on the other side of a break. But first, Mary, before we get to the break, a lot of talk about the Blaine Bengals. I was talking to some of our crew, and they haven't been back to school yet after the win, with a couple of days off at Blaine High School, but no doubt there's going to be a lot of buzz in the hallway about what that team has been able to do. For our trivia question, we want to know what was the best finish at the state tournament for the girls hockey team at Blaine. What is their best state tournament finish? We got more girls hockey from last week's trivia. We'll give you that answer on the other side. It's Sports Den, more coming up, so stick around. Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Back with you on Sports Den, J.W. Cox and Mary Peters. Wednesday is Sports Den Day, except when we do it perhaps on a Tuesday, and that's what you've got right now. Early Sports Den is never a bad thing. The Cougars of Centennial, as they have just come up short of the state tournament in hockey. Last week, Mary, we were still thinking maybe the girls would have a chance. They couldn't get past Blaine, but we asked you what was the last time they made it to the state tournament, and the answer to that was 2008, the last time the Centennial Cougars girls hockey team was in the state tournament. We may be breaking that number again soon, because as we talked about on the broadcast, those matchups with Blaine and Centennial for the next few years at least are going to be pretty fantastic and can't miss matchups. Still basketball going on as we'll go down the stretch here. We'll keep an eye on those teams, our teams, throughout their runs through the sections. Anything can happen in sectional tournament play, even with the teams that maybe are having a couple of down years. Once you get into sectional play, you never know what's going to happen on the basketball court. On the boys' side of things, the Centennial Cougars, as they have coming up, or rather their last 3, 2 wins and a loss. They're perhaps the team with the best shot at going through a sectional tournament, just what they've done in the regular season. They've still got Coon Rapids and Anoka, a couple of bottom half Northwest Suburban Conference teams coming up on their schedules. You see that for their final 2 games. Tyler Peterson and company with a couple of big tests late. Centennial boys with those matchups. Spring Lake Park, again, one of those teams that has been struggling a bit throughout this season. You see losses in their last 3, but they've got the 7th place Park Center Pirates coming up, and also then a big matchup against the 2nd place Northwest Suburban Conference Robbinsdale Armstrong squad led by Sean Burns. Falcons have 19 wins and could have 20 by the time those two meet up on February 20th.
And taking a look at the Blaine boys basketball schedule, they are coming off of 1 loss and 2 wins in their last 3 games. Their last win was versus Coon Rapids, 69-54. Ben Schur had 32 points for them in that game. They traveled to Andover, who is 5th in the Northwest Suburban Conference North, and then they have Champlin Park at home, who is 1st in Northwest Suburban Conference North at 10-0 in conference play for the Rebels.
As for the standings in the Northwest Suburban Conference on the boys' side in the North, it's Champlin Park 24-0, the best team in the conference by far. Centennial right there, 14-10 at 7-3 in the North. Blaine is 6-4. They've made a good late push, still 2 games below 500 overall. Elk River, Andover, Coon Rapids, and Anoka round out the bottom 4 in the North. The girls' side of things, still, again, the same type of schedule left standing, as girls basketball will be the last program or the last sport that we get into state tournament play, so their schedule a little further drawn out than the boys, but still a lot to be playing for. Centennial went through that rough stretch. We had them against Hopkins. The Blaine Bengals girls basketball team has started to play better of late, gained some confidence. We start there with Centennial, as they have Coon Rapids, Anoka, and Champlin Park still coming up just over the next 3 games. And again, that puts you all the way to February 24th, so you see where that schedule is kind of going to fall. 2 winnable games, you'd think, with Coon Rapids sitting there at 8-9 in conference, and Anoka at 2-7. It'll be a rematch for the Centennial girls against the Anoka Tornadoes.
And taking a look at Blaine, they're coming off of a win at Coon Rapids, 78-66. Sarah Willoughby had 14 points in that game, and Shayron Miller came out with 13 points. They have Andover at home, who is 2nd in the Northwest Suburban Conference North. They traveled to Champlin Park, and then they have Anoka at home.
Spring Lake Park, how they will look to end the month of February. Park Center, Armstrong, and Totino Grace. They did get 12 points from Jenna Murphy, but couldn't hang with the Crimson of Maple Grove, who put together a very good season. They'll try and get well, as they'd say, against the 3rd place Park Center Pirates, the 4th place Armstrong Falcons, and Totino Grace. In the West, for girls basketball, the Crimson lead the pack at 15-7, a good season for them. And you see Spring Lake Park there at 2-20, trying to get some momentum into postseason play. The Spring Lake Park Panthers, the Centennial Cougars, the Blaine Bengals, those are the squads that we follow obviously throughout everything. And everything at this point, Mary, also includes gymnastics. We were out there for a Centennial Gymnastics meets. We have state tournament action coming up. And with that in mind, more details on that on the other side, but with that in mind, let's get you a look at both the Centennial Cougars and the Blaine Bengals gymnastics team through the eyes of our coach and captains, folks.
We're having a pretty good season so far. We're probably about 500 in the conference. We had one invitation on River Falls where we took 3rd place out of 12 teams. We're coming up to our conference meet and our section meet in the next couple weeks, and we're hoping we just continue to get better each time.
Our season's been going pretty good so far. It's been going by really fast, and as my senior year, it's kind of sad, but it's also like happy to know that we've been doing so good and I get to spend it with people that I love.
Our goal is to try and go to state, obviously, like every other team, and just to try and get our personal best, like as a whole team score.
Our team goals are to get better and better each meet and improve our scores as individuals and as a team.
Every girl has contributed to our score this year, and they've contributed all the way around. So we do have a couple that have a great potential to make it to state. We have Andrea Gesner, one of our sophomores. She is a great all-around gymnast. She excels on vault and bars. She went to state last year and she placed, so we're hoping she has that opportunity again. We've got a lot of sophomores on the team, and each one of them has a ton of potential as long as they learn how to realize that they have that and can move forward. they're going to be great ones to watch in the future as well.
It's a privilege to be a captain of the gymnastics team. You have a lot of responsibility, not only representing like gymnastics, but also your community.
All the girls look up to me, and I just feel like a role model, which is really cool.
Being a captain, you're there for the team, and girls need you, you're there to talk to.
We lead stretching, and we start off practice for all the girls to come in, and we lead like conditioning sometimes.
It feels really good representing our team. I've been on the team since 7th grade, and now that I'm a senior, I'm glad I've gotten the opportunity to represent our community and being a leader and wearing the C on our jerseys.
Our core philosophy is to come into the gym every day and work hard, train hard, and see if you can reach your potential. These girls have a lot of talent, and they just have to tap into that.
I've been doing gymnastics for 6 years now, and I got involved from my neighbor because we always like played in the yard and did it. And then I went to a private gym, and now I'm here.
I've been doing gymnastics for 11 years. I was just kind of like messing around outside with my friends, and my mom put me in dance, and then that led to gymnastics.
Beam is my favorite event, and floor, and beam is very like scary, but I love doing it because it's like more of a thrill. And floor, you can be yourself and just like make up your own routine.
I love gymnastics because it is different than most sports, and people think it's easy just like watching it, but it's actually really hard, and you kind of are on your own most of the time, but you come together as a team, just support each other along with ourselves.
People should come out and watch us because gymnastics is very unique and it's very different from other sports, and we show that we're having fun, so it makes it fun for you guys to come out and watch.
People should come out and watch our team because we're very young and we have a lot of rising stars, and it's just cool to watch them grow and improve each year, each day.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Launch horses! Go Cougars! Woo!
The people perhaps that they might have been talking about that think gymnastics is easy, I'd have to talk to those people because certainly I am not in that camp. We saw the gymnastics. It was tough. State gymnastics, Friday the 20th through the 21st at the U of M Pavilion. Go out and support your gymnasts. Again, you can see the Blaine coaches and captains for gymnastics along with Spring Lake Park boys basketball, the latest addition to that, all online on our YouTube page and all in high definition. What can you catch on this channel coming up live? Well, it's back onto the ice again with more sectional hockey, this time for the boys. Starts on Thursday with 5 2A quarterfinal action. Centennial as the number 3 seed in Section 5. They'll take on Champlain Park, number 6. That's going to be a pretty good early round matchup. That's on Thursday. Then on Saturday, a host of games to choose from. We'll go with the number 1 seeded Spring Lake Park Panthers in their attempt at running the table through the 5A tournament, and they'll either play Mora Hinckley or Providence Academy, a game that's going on Thursday to determine who takes on the number 1 Panthers. Our player of the week, our athlete of the week, we go all the way back to the first highlight in that girls 5-2A tournament, and it's Alyssa Woolens. How can you not give athlete of the week to someone who scores 4 goals in the sectional tournament, including 2 game winners, once in the quarterfinals and once in the finals? Woolens willing her team into the state tournament. And you might see her again in this next segment, the plays of the week, not to spoil too much. Top 3 plays that we see. Joe Nelson, you saw this earlier, the escape, big time escape for the big man at the highest weight class. Comes out of that, ends up getting the win as the Cougars get the win in the sectional tournament, becomes section champs. That's number 3. Number 2, to the ice on the boys' side. A little bit of teamwork for the Panthers, who struggled against some top competition. Aaron Murphy finds Jacob Nystrom, finds the back of the net, and it was 2-1 at the time. They were feeling good. Of course, they lost that one 8-2, but looking ahead to sectional time. Number 1, Alyssa Woolens. Play of the week, athlete of the week, and the game winner. Her second of the postseason. She does it with the defense, takes it away, and finds the back of the net, and her Blaine Bengals are going to the state tournament. Check out NorthMetroTV.com for our complete schedule where you can catch us. Until next time, go Panthers, go Cougars, go Bengals. You're watching Sports Then. Good night.
Fourth quarter.